if you have your own little kingdom, you want to make sure that it's crafted properly, expertly, and the highest level of quality. We got an expert here, Kingdom Crafters. Matt's going to talk about it. Stay tuned. We're back, everybody. The Your Little Castle Show. I get. I'm going to be one of the most knowledgeable people if I can retain all the information, just because I get to talk to business owner after manager, corporate, big companies and small companies, all in between. We focus on small businesses, but it's just neat to see business owners and people who are running companies and divisions. He's the same in the building here today. Wow, second half hour. If you missed the first half hour, check it out. But Matt Bova, he's the St. Louis manager for their region. They have 3 regional offices for Kingdom Crafters, Springfield, Kansas City, and St. Louis.
Yes, sir.
And you run St. Louis. You also do commercial for the whole company.
We do. Yep. We have 2 commercial reps that run all of our Kingdom Crafters division, and I predominantly run this side of the state, and Trent handles the other side of the state. But we work hand in hand together, and we make sure it's all taken care of.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I get it. My dad kind of did that too for Central, you got divided Missouri into 2 halves. You could come out of the middle there and go on each side, so you got it all covered for a wonderful state of Missouri. What is it though? This is one of my favorite questions. What is the biggest mistake the average homeowner makes? There's a lot of them they can make, and this is a big decision. But when they're getting a roof repaired, what is the biggest mistake?
I'd say 2 things. Biggest one would be, not doing it in a timely manner to where it's not covered. And then you have all, the aftermath of the damage that starts coming inside.
Yeah, okay.
And that could be costly and detrimental. I mean, it could cost, your simple roof repair or, roof replacement is one cost, but when you're adding up the drywall and the interior and the insulation, that adds a lot more burden to it. So, and then I'd say number 2 would be just trying to find the right contractor, like you said. Do your due diligence, find the one that's licensed, insured, going to be there for the long haul, if something would ever happen in the future.
2 key points, so write those down, everybody, but do it timely and get somebody who knows what they're doing. But do that research. A lot of people, they know somebody and their brother-in-law has some experience, and he's going to come in and take care of this, and then he messes it up, and then you got to redo the whole thing.
And that's right, and usually, sometimes the cheapest bid isn't always the best bid, because like you said, if it's the cheapest, you got to compare apples to apples. Right. And if they're the cheapest bid, there may be a reason, and they may not be giving you the quality of material that you need or do, and then they may be cheating out on some other things, flashings or stuff like that, ice and water. There's numerous things that go under the shingles that people don't see, that they may not put in there because you can't see them. They know the homeowner's never going to check for it, and that's
you're not finding too many people crawling up on the roof to see what you installed. Did you put ice and water shield?
That's right.
Did you get the ridge vent or the ventilation or all? I'm learning a little bit from the guys. But these are things that most people are not going to be able to keep up with that.
Yep.
Tar paper versus
synthetic underlayment.
Okay.
So synthetic underlayment is newer, in today's society, and that's what we use. We actually have our own. If you ever see a roof with bright yellow underlayment, usually got our lion logo on it.
Okay.
That's a Kingdom Crafters underlayment, but it's essentially a synthetic, versus a tar paper, and it's 100% waterproof. The old tar paper sometimes would soak up the water. There's the synthetic underlayment you can actually use as a tarp now. Like if you get a hole in a roof or something, you can put some synthetic underlayment up there, and it'll actually be 100% waterproof.
Okay, yeah, I see that. I had the video up there. That video started off, showed the underlayment.
Yep,
that was up there.
So Garrett that was our owner on the right, and that's his father Trent, and Trent's our commercial rep on the Kansas City side of this.
Okay, let me rewind that so everybody knows who we're talking about. There they are. Yeah, so take a look there.
Yeah, so that's Silver Dollar City's new resort down in Branson.
Okay.
We're just finishing up that right now. So we started that about 6 months ago, and
oh wow.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yep.
There we go. Kingdom Crafters, Branson, Missouri. We go down there every couple years, and there's Garrett and the boss. So Great. Yeah, you guys are early on the ball and done some pretty big projects
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
So
So yeah, that Silver Dollar City Resort. That's a new resort on Table Rock Lake that should open in the next 6 months to a year. But yeah, we did all the roofing systems. We did a lot of shingles, flat roofs, some pavers. So
okay, yeah, wow. But building resorts, man, making it look pretty amazing. And that's impressive to see the work that you guys have put together there. When we talk about that, residential, commercial, you obviously do both.
yes, sir.
Some people it's 80-20, 90-10, but you seem like you're more like 50-50.
We are about 50-50. Yeah,
Okay.
we have all of our sales guys that strictly do residential, and then we have our commercial division too. And our commercial division, I think, sets apart against any other company in our area, if not anywhere, that because we are tied to Rafter X. So our commercial division is ran by the Rafter X platform. Mr. Matt Spanton is our president of the commercial division. He's ahead of all the reps from all 9 brands, all 9 companies. And he's been in it, 25, 30 years. And if you ever talk to anybody, whether it's a high-rise building in New York, a condo in Florida or something, and you say commercial roofing and the name Matt Spanton, they're going to know that he is the guru of commercial. So,
Really? Okay.
and he's our leader, and he really helps us out, whether it's at Drury, Crystal City, Branson, at Silver Dollar City.
Right.
It's good.
Well, yeah, it's great to have some experts that really have built a name and can take care of this because commercial is such a big part of what we do too. But if you can handle commercial, then you're going to do well on residential.
Yes, sir.
And make sure that all of it's covered and have that backing from the parent company that you guys can really help make sure that it gets done. What do you like most about this St. Louis market that you work in here and what you get to do in St. Louis?
I like it. One, it's in my backyard, born and raised in Crystal City, Festus area. So we do, like you said, get a lot of storms in the area every year, so I can work close to home. And then just helping people, like whether it's commercial or residential, there's no worse time for somebody to wake up and, their roof be leaking, or last year in St. Louis, their roof be blown off, and we were there to help them and put that back together and get them in living conditions.
Yeah, but it's a very stressful situation if you come home and your roof is blown off. I'll never forget there was a storm came through. This is 2013, a while ago, but I come home and this Cardinal game had been called off. We went to a parking garage to get cover because it was at least covered a little bit. And I got back to my house and somebody else's roof stack was in my front yard.
Oh, yeah.
And so there was some pretty tremendous damage. And then since then we've had a bunch of other storms. It just seems like it's inevitable.
Yeah,
You better have a good quality roof installation. Make sure you have some guys. Build a relationship with your roofing guy.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, we're the local company. Like I said, we're small, we're local, but we're tied to bigger roots, and we have the capability of doing larger projects. So,
Well, that's important. And build a relationship with your roofing experts. We had a storm recently, and my mom called me. She says, "Remind me who it was." I'm like, "It was," but you want to know these guys because if you've got she had a branch that fell across the roof and punctured the ceiling roof, the ceiling. What do you call that? A skylight.
Yep.
And boy, then and it just shattered like that spider web across the whole thing.
Yep.
And then water starts dripping in, and then. Boy, you better have somebody you can call. And
Yeah.
so you guys.
So you don't, come out, they need to come out and tarp it right away because, like you said, it started leaking, and then it's going to hit the drywall, the flooring, and, if it's on the up 2-story, then it's going to go down to the lower level. So.
It can be a major problem. Yeah, you don't want to get to where you ultimately end up with mold and those kinds of things. Then you
Absolutely.
have some serious problems, and definitely want to make sure. But St. Louis overall, what do you like about the city itself? The people here are generally pretty
Oh,
nice.
absolutely. People are friendly, and we see that talking to other brands across the country. And we'll do some trainings, and we'll go out in the field and talk to homeowners and stuff like that. And they're always like, "Man, the people in St. Louis are just so friendly. They always want to open the door and they want to talk to you." We go to other parts of the country, and they just shut the door in your face.
Really?
So we do. I would say St. Louis we have a lot of homeowners that welcome you, and we build that trust, and we you just talk to people how you want to be talked to, and treat people how you want to be treated.
There you go. Write that one down. Talk to people the way you want to be talked to, and treat people the way you want to be treated. Makes sense. So it's good to see that's what you experienced here in the St. Louis area, where you've been born and raised all your life. Tell me a time, though. I can only imagine by now you've got a lot of clients that have been through some stressful situations, but give me an example of somebody you knew was kind of left out on a limb and you had to come through for them.
Actually, the tornado in St. Louis. we did a ton of work. We did some churches up there that the roofs were just gone, and we were actually working for Service Master, and they had a lot of their clients, and we were working with insurance companies because a lot of the flat roofs up there, they're not cheap. You just can't put a blue tarp up there. It's not gonna. It's gonna stay, for a day or two, and then it's
Right.
gonna be gone. So we were using a lot of expensive material, TPO, and the way we secure it. It's not a cheap fix, but it works, and it gets them, dried in. And we had one particular lady, I can still remember, she pulled up and she said, "I got tarps. I just need help putting them on." And we're like, "Ma'am, we could help you, but those tarps aren't going to stay for, a couple hours. It's just the wind's going to blow them away." And our guys got done for the evening, and we had some leftover material, and we drove down to her house, and we tarped it the way it should have been tarped, and it worked out. She was a St. Louis City school teacher, so we helped her out.
Yeah, that's a good example. Teachers are important. Thank you for helping. My mom family comes from a teaching background, but yeah, they're not going to be experts. That was interesting. She bought their. She had the
tarps, but
want to make sure
you drive around any subdivision, you see a blue tarp on there. Within a day, it's got holes in it, or it's ripped up and flapping in the wind. It's just not going to work.
get it done correctly. And you guys, you do that for free a lot of times for people.
If someone calls us and says they have, a storm comes through, we'll go out there right away and tarp it up for them. And 99% of the time, we don't charge them. We want to work. We want to gain your trust and gain your business, and we want to work with you for the long haul and represent you any way we can to get that roof replaced in the end. So
yeah. And it might be something that could have been covered in the insurance claim. Anyway,
correct.
So,
yep.
Part of the process there. Tell me a time, though, a guy like yourself, and go back to the police history, but stick with the roofing industry, where you learned a lesson. You're like, didn't see that coming, but it made me a little smarter, a little stronger. We all have lessons we learn when we're running a business.
There's times where, somebody will say, "Oh, I just need a quick bid for this," and, they got, we got a new roof 10 years ago, but it's leaking, and we just want to get it replaced, and we just need a bid today. It's got to be today. And you got to do your due diligence, because, a costly mistake could be detrimental to a small business. Yeah. And if you bid it for a full roof replacement and you get those shingles tore off and their decking is damaged and it's moldy, or it's, water damaged or whatever, and you can't use it, and you just gave them a bid and you told them that was the most it was going to be, you can't nail that, surface. You're going to have to redeck it, and, that could cost you a lot of money, and especially, if you didn't figure it into your bid. So
yeah, those are things you can't observe just by an aerial shot or drone. You've got to actually get up on top of the roof and look at it.
Absolutely. Yep.
Important things to make sure you examine properly and make sure you're covering everything the right way. With that, we've got another 15 minutes. We're going to pick Matt's brain a little bit here. But with that, we're going to take a quick break, show you some of the guns and hoses. Former police officer, appreciate that. And boy, they work together a lot of the time. They're the ones that saved my life, but we give a shout out to them. They invite me to the Guns and Hoses every year. Karen Green, where you at? Say hi to Karen. She's always helping us take part there. But that and a little bit more about why we all do this, and then we'll be back here in just a minute.
Featuring Kansas City versus St. Louis. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. Standing 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighing in at 160 pounds. Representing Kansas City Guns and Hoses and the Platte County, Missouri Sheriff's Office. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Hannah Blacklock. And her opponent fighting tonight out of the blue corner.
I like Francis here better.
At 5 feet 7 inches tall, she weighed in at 159 pounds. And she represents St. Louis Guns and Hoses and the Belleville Police Department. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Angelina Free.
You don't want to pick a fight with these girls.
His name is Carter Rathwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwish was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. By now, we are on ABC 5 times a week. So many businesses are loving what we're doing to help them get their name out there. We'll sit right here in our guest chair, right here, sitting here talking to us. We're going to put on the wall your website and everything about you, and highlight you as a leader. Fill out the form you see here on our website. It's bigleagues.com, and if you go to bigleagues.com, fill out this form. It takes just a couple seconds, and you can even schedule yourself right here. Schedule yourself to be on the show, and there's no charge for us to record you. There's no charge to be in the studio. Check it out if you would like to be on. Fill out the form again, bigleagues.com. This is where we can turn any interview into a series of clips. Professional video on your website closes more sales by instantly building trust, clearly explaining complex products, and keeping visitors engaged longer. Reducing bounce rate by 34%. It'll help you to gain that credibility, increase engagement, simplify complex tasks, lower your sales friction, and boost your rankings on the search engine. So this is all kind of a no-brainer. See how we've now had over 500 interviews and now almost 250 different business owners. Go to bigleagues.com. That's bigleagues.com. Go to bigleagues.com and get signed up. You can schedule right from there. Well, there we have it, everybody. We want to share a little bit of our excitement with regard to media, technology, all of the fun that you get there, but magnetize your media. Pick up our book. Yours truly wrote the introduction here. I'll never forget, they're like, Carter, write us about 800 pages. I wrote, or 800 words. I wrote about 1,500. So, Carter, you essentially wrote the first chapter, but did I open that there? But there it is, and you can see they made me put my picture on there. But #1 seller on Amazon. But how has technology now really changed the way we do things? If you're not doing websites, if you're not doing aerial drones, if you're not getting weather maps, hail damage maps, all of these things are important.
We use, so like you said, the hail maps, we use two of them called Hail Trace and Hail Recon.
Okay.
And so if there's any hail in the area, whether it's Missouri, Georgia, wherever, we get a little alert on our phone simultaneously that says how many number of houses were affected by a certain amount of diameter hail, and pictures of the hail from local residents that upload it to that. So it's crazy. And then, the power of Facebook goes a long way.
Yeah, social media has really changed the way we do things. A lot of people, I had a guy in here yesterday, we won't say specifically, but you'll see his interview, I think, coming up. And he's like,
stop marketing the old-fashioned way. Stop spending a lot of money on leads. Social media is where it's at.
That's right.
And that's why we said we'll give you some great content here. You cut this up into clips. It really helps you to get the word out and helps people to really just absorb. We like those little short clips, and they lead you to the website. I think Joe Rogan stole my strategy. Cuts his whole interviews up into clips, puts the clips out there, lead to the website, and he signs a $180 million contract with Spotify. So there you go. Thank you, Joe. But tell me a little bit with regard to that. Have you seen a big change? Obviously, back even from the police days when you used to have the old radios and stuff, but now you can do these scans. They can ping a phone.
Oh, yeah.
But now with technology for your industry, roofing, it makes a big difference. So you
Yeah,
have to
yep,
have
absolutely.
Eagle View and all that stuff.
So technologies is crazy. One thing, like you said, technology's come a long way. Speaking of like radios or whatnot, we use on our flat roofs, our commercial stuff, especially like we were using at Drury College last week on the flat roofs. It's a deck scanner, and it's a pricey, very pricey. Around $15,000. So not a lot of companies have them.
Okay.
And they're made overseas, believe in Australia. So it takes a while to get it. But it's an infrared scanner that you literally looks like a yellow lawnmower, and you just push it across the scanner, like almost looks like a conveyor belt on the bottom, and it will measure moisture that has got inside your roofing system.
Oh, wow.
So you can't see it with the naked eye, but it tells you that there's water under there, and that's how we kind of filtrate the leaks on a flat roof. If you have moisture there, that'll at least determine where that leak is in that membrane, in that area, and then you can find it from there.
There we go, everybody. Talking about some high-techy stuff there. I hadn't heard that, but
Yeah.
moisture detection with some high-tech stuff. But yeah, water is the enemy of a roof and a house. And you start getting stuff into the rafters and supports, and now you got big problems.
Yep.
But you guys are on the ball there. What are some of the mistakes that other companies make, though? What have you seen? Cutting corners, over-promising?
That's the big, over-promising and cutting corners. I think we gain a lot of business just being upfront and honest. And a lot of companies overpromise, and they'll say, hey, we can get your roof on. Let's sign today. And 3 months later, they still don't have a roof. And then we can come by and say, well, I can get you one on if I can get the material ordered, Monday, I can have your roof on Friday as long as the weather cooperates. The big thing is the weather's got to cooperate.
Sure.
But if Mother Nature cooperates, we have the worker, we have the enforcement. So we have our own crews that work for Kingdom Crafters, so we can schedule them ourselves,
Yeah.
and we can say, hey, you're working, on Susie Drive Monday and Cherry Drive Tuesday and this one Thursday, so we can control them. A lot of companies, I think they pull from some sort of pipeline or something, and they get promised to have guys out there and they don't show up. But I think over-promising is a big mistake, and like you said, cutting corners. If you tell a homeowner that you're doing something or you're installing something, it better be there.
Right. Yeah, so true. And it's nice to see that you guys have your own crews. I know
Yeah.
a lot of guys, it can save a few bucks if they contract that out, but then you don't have much control either.
That's right,
And
yeah.
then you're not saving any money, and then it costs people a lot more money.
Absolutely.
Because they're waiting, and the work may be as well managed to make sure that it all gets done properly.
Yep.
So when you're talking about warranty work, that's all you got to get properly installed too. Tell me the process, though, for somebody they want to hire you. Tell me how simple this is. What's the best way
They
to
can
do
either go to our website or call our phone number. Whether they have a leak that they want us to come address immediately, or they just want to do a yearly roof inspection, they can call us and set up a time. One of our sales guys or women could be out there normally within 24 hours. Granted, a big storm doesn't come through and, we got a big list, but normal circumstances, within 24 hours, we can do a free roof inspection and just give you an honest opinion. There's a lot of times that there is no damage, and we do a what's called a company cam, and we'll send you a link, and you'll have all the pictures on there, and if we say, hey, there's no damage, keep this, and there's no damage, and a year or two goes down and you make a claim with your insurance and they go, oh, that's old damage. You go, no, I have a
I would say it's
document,
nice
right?
to
It's
have a
time
document.
stamped. You know, a year ago I had a roofer come out and he took pictures and there was nothing on the roof at that time. So we try to help the homeowner out any way we can, and that goes back to the technology. You know, that's just it's a cool app that we use that we can just send at the click of a button to the homeowner and they can just keep it. You know, and it's got usually about 150 photos on it.
Yeah, that's important. I didn't realize that there's so much. Obviously, insurance companies aren't looking for reasons to pay for more.
No,
damage,
they're
right?
looking at reasons to deny you.
Yeah, and so if you say nope, I got the documentation right here, or something you did just as a favor by virtue of coming out there, might as well take pictures.
Absolutely.
And then didn't do the roof because there wasn't any proved damage, but now there is.
Yep.
And you can document that to the insurance company.
Absolutely, and it goes both ways. You know, if there is damage, we want to document it.
Yeah.
And our job is to prove to the insurance company that this is why we say there's damage, and show them the proof and the facts of the damage. For that, we want to work. You know, we work on behalf of the homeowner to get them well taken care of.
Makes sense. What's the biggest question people have for you before they get started?
I think the biggest question with anything is, you know, how much, you know, what am I going to be out of pocket? And, you know, whether that's, you know, out of pocket, you know, they pay their deductible through their insurance company, or if it's, you know, if it's just an old roof and they're wanting it replaced, it's still, how much is it going to cost me? So we can sit down, we can go over those, and, you know, you can go right to our website. We do offer 0% financing, you know, for a year on our website, you know, if they can't pay for it right away, or there's long-term financing options also.
Nice. Okay, and that information is all out there. Check
It
out the
is.
website.
Yep.
And lots of great reviews there too. Do you help somebody walk through that insurance process? Like you mentioned?
Absolutely.
That's a little
So
daunting for a lot of people.
Yep. So most people, either they've never done it, or when they did do it last time, it was kind of a big headache for them. And that's where our team, you know, we specialize in working with the insurance carriers. And so we'll sit down with them. We'll walk them through. We'll make the claim with them, and then we'll walk every step of the way. We'll be there when their adjuster comes out, to the last check that they get from their insurance company, to make sure that you're paying your insurance, so we want to make sure that you're getting paid from your insurance company everything that you were owed.
Yes. Why wouldn't you want to get everything covered? You've been paying insurance every year, but that's a pretty hefty bill.
It is.
$1,500
Yep.
bucks a year for people. Usually, in 10 years of that, you paid for a roof a lot of times anyway.
Absolutely.
Might as well have them cover what they promised to cover. Got about a minute left here. What gives you the most satisfaction for what you get to do here? Obviously, you enjoy serving people as a
I do.
police officer,
You know,
but now you
being
get to do the roofing side of it.
police officer for many years. My father retired. He was a fire chief, so back in Jefferson County. But just helping homeowners out. And when somebody has a problem, like I said, we like to treat everyone like their family. And when you can help somebody out, whether they're young or old, it's not fun when you look up and you got water spots on your ceiling. So when we can prevent that and, you know, come in and do a good job, and the homeowner's happy and satisfied after a job, you know, it goes a long way. And anytime, I think the biggest thing is when you get a phone call and somebody says, hey, can you come look at my roof? And how'd you hear about us? Oh, you know, so-and-so gave it to me, and we just did their roof, and they were super happy. So that makes you feel good that, you know, people that you're working with are also referring you to family and friends.
Yeah, word of mouth, most powerful. Got about 30 seconds left here, 15 seconds left actually. You do some good charity work, community work. You bought some vests recently?
Yeah, so this past year, Springfield, Missouri, we bought all of their canine department ballistic vests, bulletproof vests for all their canine officers, for the actual canines.
Yeah.
So they did not, their dogs either had outdated or did not have proper vests to wear in the field. So we bought their entire department for their canine unit.
Great company doing great things, everybody. You're watching Your Little Castle Show.